Welcome everyone to the L7C podcast, Dragon Ball edition. Today we are going to be going over Dragon Ball Super manga chapter number 71, and we have our Dragon Ball expert Mitchell Oso with us. How you doing today, sir?
Yes, sir. How about you? How's life treating you?
It's going good, man. It's going good, and like we talked about last podcast, every time we record a manga chapter, it's around your son's monthly birthday.
Yep. Today is his 2-month birthday. He started smiling actually yesterday. He starts smiling every season. So he's grown. He's grown. Going to be paying his taxes before we know it. So
That's awesome. You get Dragon Ball and you get your kid's birthday every month. That is something special. But we are here to talk about manga chapter number 71. It dropped today. And there's some pretty interesting things that we learned, some predictions that we were right about, and some predictions we are holding on to. So, Mitch, if you want to give your patent pending DBS summaries, go ahead.
alrighty. So this chapter is broken down kind of in many parts that they go back and forth between a whole bunch of situations, but it is on Goku and Vegeta's training and the Heeters. Most of this chapter is all about the Heeters and their plan for control over the universe. So it starts off. Goku and Whis are talking, and Whis is discussing with Goku what is the difference between angels and mortals, like Goku. And Goku really can't answer the question. He might have a halo, much to the ire of Whis a little bit. But then all of a sudden, Whis' staff, it was not actually, comes flying out of nowhere. And whizzes past Whis. It's kind of Whis dodges it and then smacks Goku in the face. And Whis goes to state that angels are always Ultra Instinct, even base form, and Goku is, and he states that he needs to transform first into his Ultra Instinct form so that he can dodge stuff. But Whis is like, no, that's exactly what you need to learn how to use it in your base form instead of transforming. God, I can't talk. And he states, when your heart is calm, your body will be able to move no matter what. So we'll dive into what that actually, because there's some questions with that as well. And Whis demonstrates his speed, his powers, all the other hoopla jazz with his staff, and keep training instinct in his base form. So, and then they will focus on the full transformation at a later date. So, Goku says that Whis notes that time might not be on their side, and then brings Vegeta over, and then they discuss that they need to grow stronger previous. And Goku and Vegeta kind of are confused with this because they thought that's what they were already doing, and Whis mentions that a disturbance in the universe has happened, and Goku makes the remark that a strong enemy is about, and Whis is unsure if Granolah is an enemy or not. It pans over to Granolah. Long story short, Granolah goes back to Planet Cereal after talking to the Heeters, and he's just going to keep sitting there waiting until the Heeters tell him when or where Frieza is. So then it goes over to the Heeters, and this is where the Heeters they're part of the story. See here, that Oil, and they refer to her as Mackie. I believe that is an I, font in which they chose for the chapter. Oil and Mackie are going to go and see Zuno and ask him all the questions for to gather intel on the Saiyans' weaknesses, so Goku and Vegeta, because they are going to try and get Goku and Vegeta to fight Granolah. So we're finding out how they plan on doing that. So Oil and Mackie have a list of questions to ask Zuno whenever they see him. So they drift off and go to visit Zuno, and that leaves then Alec and Gas back at the palace or headquarters, Heater headquarters, right? And Gas is the one in which we made the remark that she, I'm not sure of gender with this one, so I'm just going to refer to Gas as a he. I'll correct myself if need be if I recall here. But Gas states, so how are we going to get them to fight? Zuno will tell us, Alex says, and so on and so forth. And Gas kind of gets in train of thought and says to Alec, I wish you had let me fight him as well. And this is in reference to when Granolah both fought Oil and Maggie in the previous chapter and without effort, defeated them quite easily. But Alec says that he has no doubts of how strong Gas is. And he even makes the comment that Gas may have even won that fight against Granolah, which is interesting to think about. But he refrained from having the fight because he didn't want to think about, the worst case scenario, and that is Gas would have been defeated. And he makes the remark that in time, Gas will fight, and that Gas is the only member of their family who can surpass Frieza himself. So Gas somehow, some way, has the potential to be extremely strong, as we were led to believe, and as our predictions. So we'll discuss that more here in a moment, and then that's kind of how the that section ends. Because now, a few weeks later, we get fast forwarded to Zuno's planet. So Oil and Mackie finally make their way, and starts off right at the beginning that Mackie is pissed off that Zuno requires that she kiss him to ask any question. And after some dialogue, she eventually kisses Zuno. Zuno agrees then that he will answer 10 questions. And it's kind of funny how they make the remark in here as Mackie tells Zuno to get with the times, creep. You ever heard of harassment? So it seems as the writers are, aware of what is going on in today's age. So good to acknowledge that, but maybe we can just, I don't know, skip to that part or skip those parts and just, try to give people some character development. Simple as Zuno being like, I changed my policy, whatever. But oh well, that's what they wrote. So that part was back to Goku and Vegeta, and we see a whole bunch of panels of Goku and Vegeta training. Goku is in trying to master his Ultra Instinct, his dodging, I guess, while in his base form, and he's having success, doing it pretty good. Vegeta is over training with Beerus, and he's learning how to Hakai. He's Hakaiing logs in which Beerus is sending over a waterfall, and then there's a funny scene where Beerus sends the largest tree imaginable over the waterfall, and Hakai's it, and just kind of obliterates the entire waterfall. He's happy with it, but Beerus is not happy with it. And so that little training montage is over, and now we go back to Oil and Mackie. They have traveled from Zuno's planet to Earth. It says some, so not sure how long. And we see that Oil and Mackie are at Chi-Chi's house first, asking where Goku is. And she says that Goku hasn't shown up in months and he needs to come home because we need money. And they said that they have a job for Goku, so money will not be an issue. And then we go back to Whis, who's getting a call from Bulma because after Mackie went and saw Chi-Chi, they went and saw Bulma, and they apparently told both of them that they need Goku and Vegeta to destroy or to beat this villain who claims to be the strongest in the universe. We all know it's Granolah, right? And so they agree that they're going to come back, and they say that going to take a half hour for Goku and Vegeta to return. Oil and Mackie say that's fine, and they would like to use the restroom, right? And as they're walking out of the room, because Bulma told them where the restroom was, Oil says, "Well, that went great," and Mackie then states that, well, anyways, next up is like.
So where we left off in the chapter, I'm actually jumping in for a chapter summary, first time, so be kind to me. So basically, we left off with Goku and Vegeta leaving with the rest of the Heeters, and Bulma's and Chi-Chi are telling Goku to be careful, and they're going out to go meet Granolah. The Heeters are telling us about to take, it'll take 18 days, so about a couple weeks.
Oh, pause 1 second. There was one thing. Okay, so Martin, for the audience, Martin's doing the summary due to technical difficulties in which I am experiencing. Martin, the one thing that we forgot to mention, though, was the Dragon Radar.
Yes. So the Heeters were looking for the OG Dragon Radar in Bulma's lab. Chi-Chi asks them what they are doing, and then they come up with some bogus thing that's saying what they're doing, and they're talking. Chi-Chi's asking that you better not be paying in that space money because people don't take that here, and they're talking about gold. And then Chi-Chi gets so super happy about that. Then we go to Goku and Vegeta leaving, and it'll take about 18 days for them to get to Granolah, which is interesting. So they're just chilling on the ship, patiently going over there. Goku is seen eating while Vegeta is still training. And then Granolah gets a call from the same Heeters who are bringing Goku and Vegeta, saying that they have two assassins from Frieza's army coming for cereal right now. And then the Heeters tell Granolah that they are Saiyans. So then Granola's just like, what? Survivors of the Saiyan race? And they're like, yes. So then we are like, wow, okay. We got some Saiyans coming my way. Granola's like, finally, after I think he says it's been 50 years overdue, but revenge will finally be mine. And that is what we have at basically the end of the chapter.
Alrighty. So a couple things to point out in the chapter. So I think one of the first things that we'll want to discuss at the beginning of the chapter is Goku and Whis' training, and that I'm not 100% sure what I even am to think of what is Ultra Instinct. Like, is it a mindset? Is it a technique? Is it a transformation? Or is it just whatever the hell we want it to be for the time being? Because I don't understand what the power up then is in regards to Ultra Instinct.
So
you and I have talked about this probably ad nauseum about when Ultra Instinct first happened and the I don't want to call them idiots, but other not maybe as cultured sites were calling Ultra Instinct a Saiyan transformation, and we had to debunk that because it is obviously not exclusive just to Saiyans, since Goku's the only one we first saw. So we always thought it wasn't really like a transformation. Maybe it was a transformation for like non angel type people, because obviously Goku's physical appearance changes. But then Whis just straight up says like, "Hey, this you need to stop treating it as a transformation. Like basically, almost I think a state of being would have been correct, and you need to be able to do this in your everyday base form. And then if you really need to surpass your limits, you can go to the white hair form if need to."
But wouldn't we call that a transformation?
For the white form, I would say that one because his appearance is changing. But I mean, now does he even need the white form? Because he can do it in base, which I have an issue with, by the way. But
Well, the thing with Ultra Instinct that I don't understand is that so we've all known that it is a mindset in which, we've been told ever since Super started, like whenever Whis was first hinting at all this way back in the day, and that is like when you separate your mind from your body, you can dodge any attack. You can you no harm can come to you. Okay, so with that being said, then it was always given to us that it was a defensive technique. You're never going to have any sort of power boost from it. At least nothing different than what your potential already is. Um, Maybe your punches would be stronger, but like, why would your ki blasts? Why would your energy ever be significantly stronger, right?
mhm.
And but then Ultra Instinct comes about in the Tournament of Power, and Goku is able to dodge all of Jiren's attacks, and then he can then handle Jiren's ki blast, even though in Super Saiyan Blue he just got pummeled by him. And so then we're like, okay, Ultra Instinct, then whenever it's mastered, gives you a attack boost. And now here we are saying that you can be an Ultra Instinct without having to transform, and that your white haired form is a transformation. I don't see consistency, and it's almost like they're like they had an idea of what they wanted Ultra Instinct to be, and then it grew into something else, and then they're trying to justify it, and now they're trying to go back on what they did.
With we saying how angels are always an Ultra Instinct, I think about those old school rumors during Tournament of Power days. Like the angels always have Ultra Instinct because that's why they have white hair. So I guess they kind of solidified that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I start to wonder how divine are the angels? Like if they're always an Ultra Instinct, is there an angel that's not an Ultra Instinct? What's that angel like? Or is like were the angels actually a mortal race in which Zeno decided to make into a divine being? I don't know. That's just me shooting shit on that one, but it's yeah. I Ultra Instinct is a just pure mystery, and it's not a mystery like when Cell was first introduced and we're trying to piece together this great elaborate story of Cell's origins. This is like just a story that is told by a drunk. it just slightly changes each time. So Ultra Instinct's still sweet. It's still cool. I like it. I'm not seeing what I feel like is consistency. So, but well, maybe they'll iron out the details here more so in the future.
Yeah. So, and then also with the staff and him training with the staff now, I just want to stay on Ultra Instinct before we go to Vegeta. And then you see later on chapter how he's able to do it in base. And I mean, those cool panels, but I'm not gonna lie, I still have a huge problem with the greatest divine power that we know being mastered in a couple pages.
Correct.
I've had a huge problem with it since it took Goku literally 48 minutes their time to get to master an Ultra Instinct in the Tournament of Power, and he never heard of it before. I had a problem with him, quote unquote, I didn't have a problem with him mastering Omen in the Moral arc. I had a problem with Mira sacrificing himself, and then he mastered.
Well, what is Omen?
Well, that they skipped. They didn't talk about Omen. They only talked about Silverhair.
Yeah, so it's like, what is Omen? I thought Omen is like, the defensive, like Ultra Instinct that we all talked about. So is Omen just, history now? Is it going to be non-existent, or it's goofy? And and the thing about the white-haired Ultra Instinct is that that's not even the best Ultra Instinct. There's more tiers, as we stated in the previous chapters. Whis' Ultra Instinct is more defined than Goku's Master Ultra Instinct, and the Grand Priest is way more defined. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, what do you mean by defined? Because if Goku's in his white-haired form, then it's like whenever it's like, so if you, I guess that's the thing. It's like I don't follow what they're trying to put us through.
Right. So we'll have to see on that. And I still have some things on UI, but just going to Vegeta too, and him doing the Hakai and looking like he's mastered Hakai. And I mean, it's great for Vegeta, obviously, adding to, like we've talked about, his arsenal. But it's like, really? Like, just in a couple, we don't know the time for how long it's been in their world, but in ours, like one chapter and you mastered Hakai?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like the pacing on this is a little too fast.
Yeah. I hope if they ever bring the anime back that, there's some filler episodes for this.
Mm-hmm.
Because it shouldn't be 4 chapters. Are you disappointed that Vegeta is just learning Hakai? I'm glad he's learning Hakai, but like, it didn't seem like that's what Beerus was originally going to teach him, right?
Right.
Because Beerus made it seem kind of mysterious what he was going to teach. Whenever, he has his hands over his head and he's like, Ultra Instinct is not the only technique of the gods, or whatever line he said. And we already know that, he could Hakai and he had energy of destruction. So it's like, so he's given us this idea that he's going to teach Vegeta something extraordinary. And then, he's just teaching him how to Hakai. I'm like, all right. I thought we were going to think outside the box, but well, at least he's learned something that's different than Goku.
Yeah, and even with the Hakai, we've only been seeing him like blow up stuff. We haven't seen him do like the energy like around him so that he can't get touched by people or they'll be destroyed. Like, we haven't seen him put that, or like a defensive way.
Yes.
So, and like you said, I am kind of disappointed about the guy. I mean, it's cool that he's learning, but it's like, but I literally saw Vegeta beat Topo with the same thing. So it's like, is this really going to make Vegeta that much better?
Yeah.
I don't know. But the other thing that I really just want, so going from that to like the Heeters plan, like, I don't know, man. The Heeters know what they're doing.
Yeah, that's what you stated in one of the previous chapters. I think I forget. I think it was both of us had stated. The Heeters are gearing up to be, the final enemy or the biggest enemy in this arc, and whether Granolah is actually an enemy or not, we'll have to wait and see. And we were saying that before we even said that, but you did point out that they're the geniuses, they're the masterminds. They're not the strongest, but at this moment they know how to set the dominoes in a particular setting so that whenever they're ready, they'll tip that first one down and everything will start falling according to their plan. So kudos to you for calling that out.
Yeah, because my biggest thing is like, I know they have to get Earth involved in some way. I thought Bulma and Chi-Chi would be involved in a way. I thought they would send Granolah to Earth, and then he starts blowing it up, saying where the Saiyans at. Then they show up, but they went the other way, asking the guy for Goku and Vegeta's weaknesses, which is their wives, and if they really tell them to do something, they're going to do it. So I thought that was really smart in a way. They're really pulling the strings to this too, because also let's just say the Goku and Vegeta fight against Granolah gets really bad. They're out in a distant world. If Goku or Vegeta gets beat up so bad they can't use instant transmission, who's going to save them? Now no one knows where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
Well, except for Whis. And I don't know, Whis had that foreshadowing that he doesn't involve himself in the mortal stuff. So maybe, and he told Goku and Vegeta their overconfidence might be an issue. So Whis might expect them to get smoked, and they're going to be out that far. Who's going to save them?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. Whenever they confront Granolah and get their ass beat, I don't know if the Namekian is going to be the one. Is going to be the one who saves them. I don't know if he's going to distract Granolah or somehow, some way. But also remember that when this occurs and Granolah confronts Goku and Vegeta, that's not going to be the only plot that's happening at that moment. You're going to have Oil and Maki searching for the 2 Dragon Balls because they'll have the Dragon Radar. They'll be out and about. And then when they get those balls, who knows if they're going to make their wish right then and there, if they're going to take the balls, leave the planet and go back and see, Alec and Gas, because maybe Gas is, super strong right now, but they're going to use the power of the Dragon Balls to make Gas, do the same kind of wish for Granolah on Gas. So there's going to be that plot that will also be happening at the same time.
Got a question for you. Since they're taking Bulma's Dragon Radar, if we're gonna go back old school, back Namek days, is that Dragon Radar Dragon Ball Universal? Didn't Bulma have to change it up so it can find the Namekian Dragon Balls, or does it find any Dragon Balls? Because I'm trying to remember if there was that plot point from back in the Namek saga.
I'm trying to remember if she had to tweak the radar for the Namekian balls. I can't remember. I'd have to revisit that. But remember, for the Super Dragon Balls, she had to use. She had to make that new one. The one that looked like a big old tennis racket kind of thing. But
yeah.
So yeah, that's probably a plot point that I imagine they just ignore. You know what I mean? Because part of me thinks that's the reason why there's 2 Dragon Balls and not a set of 7, is because they didn't want the story to handle another set. They didn't want to deal with 5 Dragon Balls. They just wanted to advance the plot, so they just made 2. And yeah, because that's also part of the reason why in the chapter, Oil and Maki were talking about that the Earth's Dragon Balls had been used within a year, so they're turned to stone. But these 2 on Planet Cereal never turned to stone, and that's just again because they're over those restrictions that they set, 30 years ago. So
right, and then with Granolah is getting ready for the revenge. Obviously, he doesn't know, and you talked about more plot. I was even going to go further with that. That of course, the first 2 Saiyans that he's about to see are King Vegeta's son, who looks obviously like Vegeta, and if he saw Bardock in human form, Bardock, who was the one who killed everyone, is the last picture we saw. So that's more plot going too, if they go with that.
Yep. So I'm willing to bet that next chapter we'll see some, maybe another flashback to the time of when the Saiyans attacked, because I mean, I really do believe though that Granolah is that he saw Bardock in humanoid form, and that whenever he sees Goku, he's just going to get really pissed. I'm not 100% sure. I would imagine so, that he would have seen, King Vegeta. But on the flip side, though, it's like, he probably wouldn't recognize that Vegeta was King Vegeta's son, unless he just happens to know about the royal family and how that all works. But because Bardock and Goku look identical, he'll be like, "You're the son of the bastard who killed my family in the church," or whatever it is. And I think Goku is going to be the one that gets his ass kicked first. And as I made the bold prediction however many chapters ago, I think Granola's going to kill him. I think he's going to kill Goku, and I think he's going to Hakai him, if anything. So we'll see how it goes, because I don't know how Granolah is going to get past, Ultra Instinct. Especially if Goku is now training this thing where he can be in his base form and dodge all these attacks.
Right, and that's the other thing with Ultra Instinct too, is like, and with Goku, and he even said like, with this training, like, there's no way I'm going to lose to anyone. I'm thinking like, yeah, how would he lose to anyone? He can do Ultra Instinct for what we saw. He can do Ultra Instinct in base form. Form. So it's like, I don't know who would be, besides like an angel and above, I don't know who'd be able to beat him.
Mm-hmm.
Just with that, like, I don't even know. We're talking about the strongest in the multiverses. I don't even know what Jiren would do against a Goku who can do Ultra Instinct in base.
Jiren would get stomped.
Which is
he would
wild to say out loud.
Yep.
So it's just like, and I get that Goku and Vegeta, they've been on their separate things, but maybe sooner or later they have a rematch or something like that. Like, I don't know what Vegeta would do against Goku going in base mastered Ultra Instinct.
I start to try to think how these chapters are going to play out, and I'm like, so I make that prediction. Goku gets killed. He gets Hakai by Granolah. So then, what does that do then for Vegeta? Because Vegeta's then going to be standing there in complete utter shock of what happened, and I think there's some significance to, before they left Beerus's planet, Beerus tosses over that ring, that earring, the God of Destruction earring, over to Vegeta, to signify that he can use energy of destruction or whatever. I don't think that was just part of just just like a passing, just between mentor and student. I think that has some significant meaning, and I think that God of Destruction earring, I think that when a user wears it, I think it prevents them from being able to be destroyed by people who also use energy of destruction. So I think the reason why that is so the Supreme Kais, they have their Batara earrings, and they those earrings allow for them to fuse with one another. We know how fusion works. It allows for the Supreme Kais to travel through time with the time rings, so they do serve a purpose. And it would only make sense in my eyes that the God of Destruction's earring also serves a purpose. So if Granolah, uses Hakai on Goku. Goku doesn't have the earring. He gets killed. That's how he gets past Ultra Instinct. And then it also would kind of prove Beerus's point, because in the chapter right before they leave, he tells Vegeta, "Hey, show them that the God of Destruction's technique is better than the Angel's technique." Well, maybe Vegeta won't be the one that shows him, but Granolah is, you know. But then it would prevent Vegeta from getting killed, as he has that earring on. Now, Vegeta would get stomped really bad still. So then it would go from there. And the only ways in which I think, they get saved is somehow they convince Granolah that they're not assassins and that the Heeters are the enemy. And Granolah, for some reason, stops his act of revenge. Good luck. Or the Namekian somehow stops Granolah and saves him. Or just straight up Whis or Beerus intervene. Maybe not to fight Granolah, but at least to get him out. Because I don't see Frieza coming out of nowhere to save them. But what's your thought on any of that?
Just to go on the ladder, you just mentioned his name. Out of all this, so where the hell is Frieza?
Yeah, how many chapters? Well, we're 10 chapters into this thing. We haven't even seen Frieza's drawing.
No.
We didn't see him when Moro was, running through the universe, except in that one kind of off chapter that they released.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't even know if that's canon. I really never looked into it, but oh well.
Yeah, so Frieza has to obviously be a part of this. We'll see how later that goes. And with Granolah, I think Goku's gonna fight first. And I was gonna ask too, like, next month will be the first time we see some fighting in a while. And Goku, who has mastered Ultra Instinct in base form, just because obviously it's the way the writers have to go, he's going to get stomped, which is, I feel like it's going to piss a lot of people off. Like, how do you master Ultra Instinct to that point? You're about to get stomped by a guy who made the wish with the Dragon Balls. And if he stomps Goku like that, then there's no way. I don't think Vegeta's beating him. So I'm already thinking, like, how there's going to have to be a change of heart, something. And I can't believe also, just to go back to Bulma and Chi-Chi, that they were so gullible that some random people from space that they've never heard of wants their husbands to come fight some bad guy. And if I felt like, and just from the previous arc, if the bad guy was that bad, wouldn't Jocko come and get them? Because it'd be a galactic control issue.
Yeah.
Like, just to get the last arc, because that's how they got involved with Moro. Jocko got Goku and Vegeta and brought them on. Like, why would some random people that they've never seen? I felt that I was just thinking those two.
It is true. That's very true. Yeah. Why are they that gullible? I didn't think about that. That's very true.
Yeah,
that makes no sense.
It's like how the last arc started. Literally, that's how it started. Jocko came down. I need help. They go with him. These people they've never seen, don't have no galactic patrol, nothing. And someone was talking about, I saw some of the spoilers or whatever, that Beerus was coming, like, to help Goku train. And I was like, I don't know where y'all getting that spoiler from, but that was definitely, Beerus was not a part of this chapter at all.
Nope.
So I'm already thinking, man, like, I know they don't like doing this on like a one singular person, but are they going to have to fuse to beat this guy? I don't even know if that's enough. If he's that strong.
I really wish Broly would fight.
God.
I want to see Broly's near unlimited potential versus Granolah. like how fast Broly adapts in the middle of the fight and how strong he is, even in his base.
Mm-hmm.
Goodness gracious, him and Granolah would be a great fight. But
we gotta see him against Goku. Because I'm just thinking, I was like, if a Gogeta or a Vegito is really truly needed, which I don't think it will, but just Omega last case, you have a fusion that can do Mastered Ultra Instinct and Base and Hakai thing.
It'd be sweet. I don't know how anybody would, fare against it in a fair fight. Just who knows?
So I've also thought too with like the Dragon Balls, if they could make someone the strongest in the universe with a price, could they take that away? Like, what if the next arc or whatever, like, yeah, we'll never beat Goku and Vegeta because they've trained so hard. Why don't we just get the Dragon Balls to wish their powers away?
Well, I'm trying to think. Didn't they try that with? Well, not take away their powers, but like, didn't they didn't someone discuss using the Dragon Balls just to kill an enemy? And somebody was like, the dragon only has the power of the person that created it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, so they can't just kill him, but could they, like what you said, remove his powers? I would think so, but I mean, at least with the Super Dragon Balls, you can do whatever the hell you wish. You can you can Captain Ginyu, whoever you want to, Zamasu, and no issues there. But
I also, man, I'm really on this. They just showed up to Earth, which I do love because they're being manipulative. But I'm also thinking of people like Dende, like on Kami's Lookout Piccolo. Like if you're watching the Earth, like you got to tell these guys do not. You can tell they don't have good intentions and they're lying and stuff like that. And just going back to this Goku and Vegeta training, because it's cool that they're learning this, but it's just too fast for me. Like, just think about it took them a year of uninterrupted, so no BS that they have to worry about, no wives calling them, just for them to upgrade their Super Saiyan 1s.
No.
Like, and then just think about from that, it took Goku 7 years to get Super Saiyan 2 and 3, and he had to be dead to get it. And it took Vegeta like 7 years to get Super Saiyan 2. But then we're getting Hakai and Ultra Instinct, and dude, I don't even know if it's been a week since they beat Moro.
No, I think officially it's just a few months.
Like that is too, to me, that's way too quick. And I know some people are just, and I know we talked about like, oh, other people got involved in the Moro fight. We actually saw like Gohan, Piccolo, like the Z fighters fighting people, but now, I mean, I don't know what the hell they'd be even worth a damn for. Because I just like, I don't know, unless Mirno shows up like the fan manga, I don't know who the hell they're trying to fight like after this.
Yeah. Angels, or they need to go to another universe. They have to do something. But, well, we probably won't know that for another year and a half. So,
and I don't know if you've seen these things that people were trying to say that Goku had to learn Master Ultra Instinct in base because that's what he fought Ub in base at the tournament. But I was like, well, Goku still got raggedy clothes and still got hit. So,
I was actually thinking, I know it's not, because again, I'm trying to wrap my head around what is Ultra Instinct. I was starting to wonder if Ultra Instinct is actually just Goku, in his base form, being able to dodge power and all that stuff. And his white form was actually him and Ultra Instinct turning into a Super Saiyan. Just like how Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue, is Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan. So,
well, at this point now, which knowing Goku, he'll go through the paces and go through like 2 or 3 transformations to see how strong Granolah is. I was going to say rest in peace to the reason Super started with Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue. Those are truly obsolete. And of course, since they'll be obsolete, that's what Vegeta will be mixing his Hakai with, thinking they'll stand a chance against a mastered Ultra Instinct person.
Yeah. So I don't think, I think we'll get a preview of like the beginning of the fight at the end of the next chapter. But I think 73 is going to be where we get all of our action. So, because there's going to be a lot of talking,
Yeah, they're going to be like, what are you doing here? Things like that.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. But,
that'd be the first thing that I would say. Like, he'd be like, Granolah would be like, you're what take me to Frieza. And then they're going to be like, why? We don't know anything about Frieza. Like, we don't know where Frieza is. And he's be like, you're a liar. You were sent here to kill me. And then they'd be like, yeah, we heard you're a bad guy doing bad stuff. And then Granolah would be like, no, I've never done anything bad. Look at what your ancestors did to my home. And then they'd be like, ooh, well, we didn't do that. And then he'd be like, I don't care. And then they'd be like, are you really bad?
Well, you brought up the ancestors to his home. That'd go back to the first training thing with Vegeta, with Beerus. How Beerus asked him, do you feel guilt for your people's stuff? And then Vegeta gave his answer. So that might make Vegeta hesitate a little bit because he might start feeling some guilt.
Maybe Vegeta won't even fight. Maybe he'll just be like, all right, man, I get you. I get you. What do you need? What do you need help?
Yeah, because it's not like Vegeta likes Frieza. I mean, but I'm wondering too that if Frieza's out there training, because in 4 months, that dude came back from hell, and he was not even stronger than an imperfect Super Saiyan 1 Goku or Trump. So he trains for 4 months, and then he's up to the same level as a Super Saiyan Blue. So if he's training now, how strong would Frieza be right now?
I mean, he should be the strongest in the universe, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows? Maybe he's just sitting on his throne, wondering why he's not taller.
I mean, the last time we did see he was going to try and make that new device to control Broly. But I mean, his best moment in Super is when that Frieza stopped that God of Destruction energy.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's things I like the Goku and Vegeta training stuff, but I feel like it's just way too fast, and they get so strong to get put down by random people. It's like, what's the training for? And Frieza's still nowhere to be seen, but we're finally going to see some action next month, so that's going to be super cool. Mitch, anything else about this chapter that we missed on?
Not that I can recall. I think we covered all the basis of everything that's important, and we're just looking forward to the next chapter.
Hey, that is awesome. Mitch, any last shout outs you want to do before we sign off here today?
Nope. Nothing specific today. Everyone, give a like, subscribe, however you may be listening. Tune in to everyone else who contributes to L7C. You'll learn something, I promise. And other than that, well, take care and have a great evening, everyone.
Yeah, and I really got no more to add to that except thank you, everyone for listening to the L7C podcast. Thank you, Mitch, for being our Dragon Ball expert and reviewing each manga chapter. Next month, we're going to have some action. We're going to have finally a fight. We haven't had a fight in a little bit, so cannot wait for that. And with that being said, thank you, everyone, for listening to the L7C podcast. You guys take care. Thank you for listening to this episode of the L7C podcast. Be sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.